After getting rid of the players, they find a divine power plant. Its rank is unknown, and it was made by players. Priest-type class players can recharge it with mana, but other mage-type players can't recharge it. Once fully charged, it generates purifying energy for 90 minutes. Its description says that it requires fully charging every hour. There is a personal note by the creator of this plant which states that the Evolution Society must make sure to recharge it every 24 hours by putting priests in different schedules. Jisoo-yun cuts the divine power plant with her sword/skill. Jisoo-yun says that they should be able to undo the divine chains because they broke their power charging source, and Sung-woo suggests that they should go back and see for themselves. After returning to the room, they find out that the chains have become normal. With that being said, Jisoo-yun once again tries to cut them. This time, the chains easily broke with a little amount of force. Sung-woo cuts the capsule in half using his Grim Reaper scythe. The liquid binding the movement and skills of Dullahan is now finally spilled to the ground. Dullahan looks quite imposing in his real form, and he is leaking a little bit of bloodthirst. Jisoo-yun informs Sung-woo about this bloodthirst, but Sung-woo tells her to calm down. Sung-woo is thinking that he don't likes the system, but it never lied to him before. Dullahan gets down on his knees. A system message pops out informing Sung-woo that the field boss monster Dullahan swears loyalty to Sung-woo. Now this monster is his blood kin. The Dullahan is waiting still on his knees in front of Sung-woo for his first order. Another notification pops up telling Sung-woo that he has completed the exclusive quest Cavalry of the Dead. As a reward, special blood kin is given to him. At the same time, another platoon of guards arrives right outside the room where Sung-woo is at, and they get ready to infiltrate the room. Sung-woo can clearly hear their footsteps, and he thinks that it is the perfect time to test the abilities of Dullahan, so he orders him to get rid of them. After entering the room, they find it quite dark, and they can hear strange sounds approaching them. It turns out to be Dullahan who is riding a horse, and he uses his exclusive skill Death Dash. Dullahan also unlocked a powerful synergy by moving without his head. It increases his chances of avoiding critical hits by 100%, and he has complete immunity to death, fainting, and psychics type curses. Dullahan swiftly takes care of a bunch of bowmen with his spear. He then beheads some players using a single strike. After that, he stomps the heads of the last few remaining players. Dullahan annihilated a whole squad in a matter of a few minutes, which is a feat reserved for only boss monsters. Sung-woo is quite impressed with the skills of Dullahan, and now he is more excited to see what the next floor holds for him. Sung-woo blasts through another floor, which is the Abyss Research and Specimen Center. Jisoo-yun says that maybe this floor contains undead-type research materials and monsters. Inside the room, they find some long-dead specimens turned into skeleton warriors. The Arch Mage Beastman seems to be caged there as well, and he calls out to the Necromancer. Sung-woo says that from what he knows, the Guardian Archmage should not be stuck down here. Guardian Archmage says that the Evolution Society bastards have been using me ever since he started growing weaker, and in the end, he became one of their hunting dogs. Sung-woo asks him if there was a power struggle in the Evolution Society, and the Guardian Archmage says nothing like that happened. For Beastmen, this whole game was just a matter of survival. Ever since he became a prey just because he didn't pick a card. Sung-woo asks him about the terrorist activities they were involved in, if that was also a matter of survival. Guardian Archmage asks Sung-woo if he will believe him if he says that it was all part of the quests given by the system. They became beastmen because they didn't pick a card from the system, and once he got his rational thinking back, he realized he had already eaten 10 people. So for the beastmen, the system is the definition of horror itself. They cannot go against it even if they are used as villains, and they are constantly pushed toward a heinous direction. They could not possibly create another situation that would not result in punishment by the system. Sung-woo is thinking that maybe the beastmen were set as enemies of human players from the start, and he asks him if he was not the one who accepted those quests. Archmage says that he is correct, and they accepted those quests in order to survive. Guardian Archmage is not hoping for forgiveness because nothing is going to change anyway. Without any excuse, they are the villains assigned by the system. Sung-woo is feeling a little bit of pity on this victim of the system. Guardian Archmage asks Sung-woo if he can let him help Sung-woo so he can eliminate the head of the Evolution Society. He further says that it is embarrassing but that Dr. Yugai used them. Beastmen were used as if they were hands and feet, while the scientists acted like they were helping these lowly beastmen to the point of being used as lab rats. There were some of them who didn't killed and wanted to become humans, so they cooperated with them. In the end, the beastmen could not stand it anymore and they rebelled. That's how they became slaves. Sung-woo asks the Guardian about the location of Dr. Yu. Guardian Arch Mage informs him that Dr. Yu is on underground floor number 8 in a hidden room. He is most likely preparing to face Sung Woo right now. Sung Woo asks him if by preparation he means something like that experimental chimera. XP Arch Mage informs Sung Woo that Dr. Yu serves something else than those two absolute tribes. He will probably try to borrow the power of that strange halo. Arch Mage recommends Sung Woo to get down there quickly before Dr. Yu can do that. But it will be difficult to break through from floor 6 to 8 since it's a restricted area. Sung Woo asks him if he has a way to get down there easily, and Arch Mage replies with a yes. But he will tell him on a condition that after killing Dr. Yu, he will not harm the were-beasts who have become slaves. Because these beastmen were the ones who were skeptical about killing players in the first place. Sung Woo makes a counter-offer to the Arch Mage. He asks the Arch Mage to promise that he will live quietly from now on without indulging in system requests. Arch Mage makes a promise, and he is sure that they will die by the hands of Necromancer if they ever do something like that. After coming to an agreement, Arch Mage informs Sung Woo about a wall, and if Sung Woo breaks it, he can find a secret elevator passage. That's the only direct way that leads directly to 8th underground floor. Sung Woo starts to leave, but Arch Mage informs him that nobody knows which being Dr. Yu serves. But it is an evil being with tremendous power, and Sung Woo must be careful. Sung Woo tells him that whatever that is, it does not matter. He is thinking that he is going to go for the absolute tribes and the creator in the future, so this being matters little to him. Sung Woo breaks the wall to find an elevator passage. He then goes down the shaft with Jisoo Yun and Righty. There is only one route in front of them, and the air around them is quite hot. All of a sudden, Jisoo Yun realizes that it is becoming hotter, really quick, as if something is coming their way. A large quantity of flame burst is coming their way. Sung Woo quickly summons Alpha Male Wyvern to block the flames. Sung Woo orders Jisoo Yun to quickly go outside as he is already immune to the flames. If he combines his Dragon Hunter title, Shadow King's robe, and the Drake leather, he can get a total fire immunity of 70%. A warning notification appears informing Sung Woo that underground rage is rushing in. Sung Woo is thinking that he won't be able to withstand this heat for a long time since it is worse than the hellfire he experienced before. Sung Woo quickly pulls out Hellfire armor from his inventory. It is a special type bound armor. It increases defense power by 50% and fire immunity by 100%, and flame damage increases by 20%. Its size gets automatically adjusted once equipped, and it gets bound to the user without the possibility of unequipping. System asks him once again if he wants to equip it since it will be bound forever to his body, and when in no use it will be stored on the glyph on his wrist. Sung Woo quickly equips it before he can get drowned in flames. On the other hand, Righty and Jisoo Yun barely made it out of the range of fire. The whole corridor is brimming with the ultimate flames. A notification pops out informing Sung Woo that his flame immunity has exceeded a certain limit of 150%, and Salamander Aura is given to him. All of his direct attacks will have an added burn effect. When he is hit by a flame attack, his health will recover by 1%. Sung Woo asks someone if this was a trap, and if this is the only thing he prepared, then it's over for them. After some time the fire dies down, so Sung Woo starts moving forward, but the heat in this pathway is still strong. Once the heat dissipates, Jisoo Yun will be able to follow them. At the same time, Death Knight informs Sung Woo that he can see the end over there. There is a fire spiting abomination on their way, and Sung Woo says that it must be the reason for those hellfires back then. This is the only way forward, so they need to get rid of it. Sung Woo has seen enough, so he orders Death Knight to break it. A notification pops up telling them that they have eliminated an unknown being and brought the anger of an unknown being within it. Instead of earning gold, he brought some anger upon himself, and on top of that, this unknown being is not one of the angel or demon factions. Maybe this unknown being is the one that Dr. Yu serves. At the same time, Death Knight informs Sung Woo about a door ahead of them. Upon reaching it, the door starts opening by itself. A little kid comes out to greet them, and he welcomes them to the special organization under the Korean Ministry of Public Administration and Security called Strange Phenomenon Response Center. Sung Woo asks him about what he is, and the kid says that he is the guide. Sung Woo says that you must be trying to plot something strange by being manipulative, and it's really obvious. At the same time, Death Knight brings out a lollipop to give to the kid. The kid says that it's not manipulation, but a conversation. They are trying to convince Sung Woo once more by sending out a kid like him because he is too strong, and Sung Woo is thinking that this guy is not a kid. Sung Woo thinks he is one of the clones of Dr. Yu, and at the same time the kid tells them to follow him. Sungwoo asks him about the governing body of Korea he talked about. Kid tells them that they were a part of the government, Strange Phenomenon Response Center. The government already predicted this would happen, like some unknown power getting involved with Earth and trying to take control. Sungwoo becomes pissed after knowing that the government already knew about some warning signs, but they kept it to themselves. Sungwoo says even if they already knew about it, they didn't even help because most people couldn't even get through the first half of the game. Kid says that their researchers in practice believed this and warned them, but higher ministry didn't believe them. The ones with money and power hated change more than he thought, although he never thought they would put their lives on the line for the sake of not acknowledging it. Ultimately, on the day everything started, the center director Dr. Yoo Hee-seung and the research team stepped forward to take action. They evacuated 4,000 selected survivors from the area and created an independent system to prepare for the future. Sungwoo was wondering how they managed to create a facility of this level. Now he knows they prepared it in advance. Kid further tells them that this is all in preparation for recreating the Republic of Korea and doing the useless government work, as well as completing the ultimate purpose of this game. Sungwoo asks him if it is the transcendence or the new humanity that he is talking about. The kid says that it is correct and that's the only way everyone will reach the best ending. He further informs them that Dr. Yu drew 4-star Mad Scientist card and 5-star Archbishop card during class selection. These two cards that seek the truth created a synergy, and thanks to that he got closer to the answer earlier than anyone else. Sungwoo asks him about this answer, and the kid says that Dr. Yu sees this game as a test of sorts, done to judge the humankind's value. The way to pass this test is through escaping from mere humanity and going forward to become greater beings, and that's why he is researching death, which is the biggest challenge to human beings. The kid says that if they have a slightly deeper conversation, Sungwoo will be able to understand it, but Sungwoo says that he is wrong, since the creator is not watching them, so he tells him that what the transcendental being is doing while looking down on them is not a test. It's a game that they want to watch and enjoy, and you guys are idiotic and fanatical villains with nonsensical thoughts about their entertainment. The kid says that the Necromancer is just harshly saying that he will not join their cause. Sungwoo replies by saying that the things are going to get harsher going forward. The door opens up and the kid tells Sungwoo to go ahead to hell as there are some mana summoning circles behind the door. Kid bows down as 3 holy spears containing divine power are shot towards Sungwoo. Sungwoo says that he already knew it, so he sends Righty forward. Righty uses his Mountain Goblin Shield to block all 3 divine spears. Mountain Goblin Shield is a heroic rank shield. It forms a shield that nullifies magic attack 3 times and it has a cooldown of 1 hour. In the meantime, the kid ran inside so Death Knight and Righty chase after him. There are a lot of divine magic circles on the ceiling. Priest-type unknown beings get summoned from some circles. The entrance behind him gets blocked by some divine chains. Death Knight says that the unknown beings that just got summoned don't seem to be moving on their own free will, and Sungwoo orders his minions to defeat them first. But as these beings get killed, Sungwoo gets a notification that they were players and he gets a lot of gold for killing them. Looking at the system messages, Sungwoo now knows that these are just some ordinary players, but they are being controlled by something. A person sitting at the table says that he tried evolving the players quite a bit, and he asks Sungwoo about his opinion. Their age-old dream was to turn the Necromancer into one of them as well. One of the Dr. Yu clones says that they just gave up on convincing him as his stubbornness is no joke, and the kid clone says that Sungwoo would not buy it no matter what he said. Sungwoo says that it's quite a sight since Dr. Yu has clones by age groups. Since he has more clones, why don't he call down everyone? Dr. Yu says that there are more in here. 2 more clones come out, and the one controlling the wheelchair says that he is glad he could live up to his expectations. The old clone with his trembling hands says that Sungwoo is the specimen he wanted for so long and now he has come by his own will. Sungwoo is sure that this old man is the real Dr. Yu Seong. Dr. Yu says that Sungwoo is the only being that will complete his research. Sungwoo says that he is here to finish him for good, but Dr. Yu says that he will trim him well enough and keep him good as the friends above him. Sungwoo gets pissed as at least the younger clones are talking politely, but the original body is just ugly and stingy. Dr. Yu says that as you age, you are bound to get a personality. Some tentacles pop out of the body of the real body. The tentacles get attached to every single clone. Old man starts absorbing their power and he starts getting pumped up. Sungwoo says that he is seeing some good friendship between family members and if this is the becoming one body that the little kid was talking about. Dr. Yu is evolving and he tells Sungwoo that this is evolution. The old man got quite beefed up after absorbing his clones. After that, his tentacles start controlling the players above them, and Dr. Yu says that although their bodies are not one, but they are under the same mind. He further says that this is the beginning of evolution. At the same time, he summons a lot of divine magic circles. Sungwoo says instead of evolution, extinction suits him better as he prepares his repeating dwarf crossbow. Dr. Yu says that you have got minions while I have dolls and it's time for them to play. An exclusive quest by the title of For Eternal Rest pops out. It's a rescue type mission. Its goal is to provide death to the ones who cannot die. As a reward exclusive skill, you have witnessed something shocking will be given to him. Since Sungwoo discovered those who fell into the clutches of the wicked, they are stuck there receiving eternal torture while they cannot die. Although they cannot scream, their bodies feel everything. Death is nobody's authority, but certain deaths can give eternal rest, which is the only escape from this tragedy. Sungwoo must provide eternal rest to those who cannot die, and there are a total of 240 players, plus his choice will influence his fate. Sungwoo runs back as the volley of divine arrows hit him. Death Knight and Righty block the arrows with their shields, but the level of those priests look quite high enough, and Sungwoo says that they must have modified those players and strengthened them. Sungwoo uses giant spirit regeneration in the area, as well as death response and shadow army. Sungwoo is increasing his sources for long-range attacks as much as possible. That's why he is nominating Death Wizards. It's a basic active type spell which consumes 50 mana when raising the skeletons. Magic talent is given to these skeletons, and it turns them into skeleton mages, and a total of 5 mages can be made. The skeleton mages are capable of using multiple magic and curse attribute spells. On improving the skill's rank, they can use even more powerful magic. A skeleton mage can become a priest of death on satisfying specific conditions, and a priest of death can become a lich on satisfying certain conditions. Sungwoo nominated a death wizard, but his intelligence is low, so a basic rank skill is given to him, and the chances of improving his skill are low as well. Sungwoo is quite disappointed by this revelation. Sungwoo looks toward Death Knight as he knows his intelligence is quite high since he used to be a doctor. Sungwoo nominates him as a death wizard, and the system informs him that his intelligence is extraordinary, and an expert rank skill is given to him. The chances of improving the rank of this skill are quite high. A new skill is given to the Death Knight instead of magic as a result of its connection with the original job Death Knight. An expert rank dark magic sword is given to the Death Knight. It strengthens weapon by injecting mana into it. It adds 110% chaos curse on the enemy. Every time the rank of the skill is improved, the strengthening effect increases by leaps.